Let's take a look at the options we have for viewing and navigating images on screen inside Photoshop. Let's go to our Chapter 1 folder. I am going to bring up the Open dialog box by pressing Command O on the Mac or Ctrl O if you are on the Windows. Now, let's go and select our file called TIFF. Now, it is open up around 33.3%, and you will see how it's zoom in or zoom out just beside the name of the file. That's a little small for us to see its full glory, so we are going to zoom in a little more for the purpose of our demonstration. So to zoom in, you can simply choose the zoom symbol here, the magnifying tool, or simply press Ctrl plus to zoom in and Ctrl minus to zoom out and Ctrl O to fit to our workspace. So like I said, for the purpose of our demonstration, I will zoom in a little. So now it is zoomed in at 100%. You can also choose to go to view. We have a couple of options here: zoom in, zoom out, fit on screen, 100%, 200%, and print size. So now we can see the image in its full glory. The problem now, of course, is that the image spills beyond the boundaries of our document window. To deal with that, we can use the hand tool. Its icon is located here at the bottom of the tool panel, or you can simply press H on your keyboard. It is shaped like a hand, just like the name implies, and if you simply click and drag on the image area, you can move the image around in many or any direction that you want to. What happens if you like to scale the image back to a smaller view? Well, the zoom tool is located right next to the hand tool in the tools panel. Here, this magnifying glass, you click on it or simply press Z as your keyboard shortcut. Notice that we have a plus sign in the middle of this magnifying glass, meaning that if we click the image, it will become bigger, just like how I am demonstrating in our window. But we want to reduce its size, so I'm going to create a shortcut on the keyboard. So I will hold down the Option key on the Mac or Alt key on Windows, that's if you are using PC, and you will see that the plus sign has changed to minus. Now I leave it, it becomes plus. That's in the magnifying glass. When I click on it, you see the magnifying glass changes to minus. Now if we click, we simply go to lower and resize to fit our workspace. So now we have it like this, fitting our Windows space. We can simply click Ctrl O just to fit it. If I zoom in the image, you can see that the image gets larger, but the document window has stayed the same size. Now I will turn this back on, and we are going to hold down the Option key on Mac or Alt on the PC to zoom out of the image. And now the document window changes along with the magnification of the image. So That's your resize windows to fit. I should point out that in an earlier lesson, we turned on the application frame on the Mac. If you still have it on, I want you to go up to the Windows menu and deselect the application frame option in order to see the resize window effect. Simply, also when you want to resize, you can come here, up here, click on 100%, you get it bigger, you see the image larger, or you click on fit screen and then you get it back to fit your screen, or you can simply come here, fill screen, and then it will fill your screen. So I'll go back to fit it to our screen. So we have options using the magnification tool and holding the Alt to resize. We have also Control plus and Control minus. There is another tool up here that I would like to show you, the Scrubby zoom option. Now, if this is grayed out in your computer or missing altogether, it may be that your video card does not support this feature. If that's the case, just sit back and watch me. I am going to turn on Scrubby zoom, and now if we want to zoom in, we can simply click and drag to the right of our image, then the image enlarges. So now click and drag to your right and then it enlarges. If we want to zoom out, we will simply drag to the left so we can zoom in and out to our heart contents. So we are still zooming in, so then come here, we zoom out. It's going to take some time, and frankly I do not use that option because it's time consuming. I just use Control plus and Control minus and Control O. I am going to go up to the view menu for now and select fit on screen. Our image is already fit on screen, but just to show you that option also works, and the shortcut is Control O. We can also rotate images in Photoshop, and we can do that by going up to the image menu and select image rotation. So image, and then we go to image rotation. I am going to choose 90 degrees clockwise, so it uses shortcuts 90 degrees CW, that's clockwise. So now our entire image is rotated. If we send this to the printer, this is how it will be printed out. If we save and close the file, we will reopen it and have it be in the same orientation. So I am going to undo that by going up to edit menu and select undo rotation canvas. Then it happens. But we can also take it back. When, let's say, we have it like this, we go back to images, then we go to image rotation, then 90 clockwise, then we are back to our original image. There's another option here. If we click and hold the mouse on hand tool, we can see just below this that we have a rotate view tool. So I'm going to demonstrate that. So I click on the hand tool and hold for a second, then I go to rotate view tool. The shortcut is R. I should point out that if your rotate view tool is grayed out, your video card may not be able to support this feature. Now let's see what this does. If we click and drag on the image, you can see that there is a compass showing up. And we can rotate the image as you are seeing here. That's rotating the view of the image. Now, what's different about this than what we did previously? When you go up to image menu, you are rotating the canvas. That is a permanent change to your image. With the rotate view tool, we are temporarily rotating the view of the image. This is not saved. We are not altering any pixels. This is just for on-screen purposes only. So if you save the file right now and open it back up, it will show up in the original rotation. The rotate view tool can be useful if you are doing some retouching, particularly if you are using a tablet. You can get a more comfortable drawing angle. In the option bar, we have a reset view button. So once you are done playing with the rotate view tool, you can simply hit reset. So yes, here, reset view. And I might state this clearly. There are some people that when you rotate your image and you leave it up like this, whichever image you open again in your next window or anything, just to work on Photoshop, it will get the image rotated to this is 90 clockwise, and that's the way it's going to be. So I would advise that after this demonstration, you go back and hit reset view, and then you will be fine. Photoshop offers 3 screen modes that I want to take you through. And if you look up here in our application bar, Photoshop offers 3 screen modes that I want to take you through. Now what we have here now is our standard view mode. Now the keyboard shortcut to cycle through this set of screen modes is the F key. Not the function keys, but I mean letter F. So we are going to do that with the letter F. So when I click on it, I get a different view. When I click on it again, I get a full screen view, and then now I have no menu bar, no panels, no Photoshop interface, just like the second one. So this is our standard one. We have our menu bar, our 2 panel, everything. Now when I click on the second one, we have some bars missing, but with the full screen, everything is totally gone. We don't see anything. All we see are the rulers. So now I'm going to press F, then I go back to our standard view. Now, Photoshop gives us a lot of options for how to deal with multiple images open at the same time. So let's open a couple more. I will go back to our chapter 1 folder. We are going to select 2 files at the same time. So I want you to select 16-bit file. 16-bit file. And just below it, I want you to hold down the shift key on the keyboard and select Fuji Hi-Res. Or you can also hold the control key to select it. But now, if we are going to select an image by jumping the next image, like let's say we want to select garden in addition to our image, we need to hold the control key to select it. So now, with our hand still on the control key, I'm going to deselect garden. Now, I'm going to leave control key and hold shift key and select garden. And then try to select 16 bits and see what happens. Now, Fuji Hi-Res and Fuji Low-Res has been selected. let's try it selecting from 16 bits to TIFF. Hold shift and click on TIFF. You realize everything has been selected. But then let's choose our 3 images from 16 bits. So we are going to choose 16 bits, Fuji, Hi-Res, and TIFF, and see what happens. So we in this case we will have to hold Control, click on Fuji Hi-Res, then we choose TIFF. So if you are going to skip some images, then it is advisable that you click on Control rather. But if you are going to select every image, then I will say or advise that you click Shift to select all the images. So we are going to select 16-bit and Fuji Hi-Res. Both of these files will be selected. They will both be opened. Notice what happened. We still have a single document window, but it contains 3 tabs, 1 for each image, and we can move along the images simply by clicking each tab like this. So all our images are showing, but then they are in 3 different tabs, as you can see here. If you don't like this tab interface, you can simply drag an image onto a floating document window. So you click on the tab, drag it out until you see that outline that you have in the floating document window. You could also accomplish this by going up to the application bar and select Float All in Windows. So we go back and then we are fine. So now I want to show you something using the TIFF file. Photoshop gives us some very good visual information without having to go and open up any menus. The first place I want you to look is in the title bar. Right at the very top of the document window, we have the file name here, file name over here, and file name here too. We have the view percentage like I showed you earlier. So TIFF is viewed at 36.9%, and Fuji Hi-Res is viewed at 33.3%, and 16-bit is viewed at 50%. We have RGB, which tells us the color mode that the image is in, and we have an 8, which tells us that this is an 8-bit image. There is a copyright symbol here to the very left, right here as well, and here as well. It indicates that copyright information has been embedded into this file. That is going to be all for now. Thank you all for staying with me through these tutorials. This is the end of our first chapter, and I'm sure you have been able to understand a couple of things concerning the fundamentals of Photoshop. Thank you. Stay tuned for our next tutorial. We go to chapter 2.